the Homeschool Mom Survival Guide.
Good.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Today, we're talking about
Mullein,
Mullein,
Mullein.
which is actually pronounced
Mullein. But now I see the record contracts coming in, the recording
know.
contracts. They're going to be like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
They sound like angels.
I know, right? They can see the halo from where they are.
Super angelic.
Yeah.
Not to,
Toot our own horn.
No, not tooting our own horn. Don't even have a horn
angelic
present.
horn.
But if you heard our voice and you think that we would make good singers, then
You're right. You're right.
I would listen to me all day long.
I do listen to me all day long.
I know. And then you have to listen to me sometimes.
Yeah. And my kids have the joy of hearing me all day long, too. They're
Good
so
thing.
blessed.
I said to her recently, I'm surprised, as much as I am myself around her, she still wants me to come around. It's so weird. As weird as I am, I have to be reserved around so many people.
Yeah. We don't require that here.
Mm-mm.
Reservation isn't a thing.
And she still like me.
Yeah. Filters don't really exist.
So odd.
Yeah. All right, so Mrs. Lucas, I don't know why I call you Mrs. Lucas on here. I think it's because
we formal like that.
I know, because when I talk to Sebastian about you, I always say Mrs. Lucas. So, Amy is going to educate us on the wonders of Mullein.
Oh, Mullein. You know what? It's funny. I discovered Mullein, discovered for myself.
Amy is the discoverer of all Mullein.
Last fall.
You heard it here first.
And what I was looking for, my search on the intranet, was an herb that would help with filtering out kidneys and bladder.
Okay.
I was having a problem with my kidneys. And I wanted things to kind of be filtering through.
Nice.
But at the same time that I tried it for that, I was congested, and I felt it's tea form. I was drinking it in tea form, so dried mullein leaf, and my lungs relaxed.
Nice.
And the congestion was much less.
Okay.
And I was like, this is crazy. And I went back and I looked on the front of the bag, and lo and behold, it listed that. And I didn't even pay attention to it.
Sometimes you got to read the words.
So mullein, also known as great mullein or common mullein, is a native biennial plant of Europe, North Africa, and Asia. It is used in herbal medicine it's been used in herbal medicine for at least centuries.
Nice.
It's a tough and drought tolerant, sometimes weedy. Most people see it on the side of the road or see it pop up in their gardens, and they literally think it's a weed and they pull it.
So wasteful.
Let's see. It originates from an old French word that means soft. So the petals or leaves of the mullein plant are fuzzy, like super soft, like fuzzy. Which obviously that goes away when you dry them, but
Yes.
and then the flowering stem is like in the first year, the flowering stem part, so that there's like a big stalk that comes up the top center.
Okay.
First year mullein, it'll get about a foot tall. The second year mullein, it can get like 6 feet, 8 feet tall. Like it can be really, and the crazy thing about the flowers, because the flowers also have medicinal purposes, like you can dry them and they help It's all the same things. I'll go more into that. But they don't all open up at the same time.
Oh.
So if you're going to attempt to harvest the flower petals, you have to go out multiple days in a row,
Okay.
first thing in the morning,
Oh,
because
okay.
they are most potent when they're still wet with the morning dew. And they will open up at different times. They don't all open up at the same time. So they're like just peekaboo in sets.
That's cool. So you mentioned that first year are shorter than second year.
Yeah.
Can you harvest both of those, or do you need to not harvest it first year, only second year, or does it matter?
I don't know on that one.
Oh,
I
I just assumed you knew everything.
Well,
What happened?
I haven't stayed at a Holiday Inn Express recently,
Oh.
so my knowledge base.
Sounds like Mr. T needs to take you on vacation to one.
Oh, that
You would have
be-
totally been able to answer that question if you
I'll
had.
come back so smart.
This is Mr. T's fault.
It says mullein has been used in traditional medicine for the last 2,000 years. First recommended. Wow, I can't even pronounce his name. I'm attempting to read something. So we'll just go with their last 2,000 years. It was Roman soldiers, among other cultures, used mullein stalks dipped in grease or wax as torches. Yes, I also read that too. That when it's done, you've taken all the flowers. What do you do with the stalk that's left? Well, for everyone's safety, you can dip it in wax and it makes an excellent torch.
Dip it in wax and light it on fire.
So here's my question. If we actually dipped it in citronella, I wonder if you could put it like little corn dogs on sticks
that would be
around your
amazing.
yard,
Yes.
and it would keep away mosquitoes.
That is an awesome idea. I think we should try that.
If anybody tries that and fails or causes fire, just
Oh, yeah.
don't let me know that.
If you
But
cause a forest fire, we
cause a
didn't
forest
tell
fire.
you to do that.
and that's kind of a touchy subject, especially here in Michigan.
Oh,
Thank you,
yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
But
Maple syrup and toxic smoke.
it's supposedly because of the type of juices or whatever there is in the stalk itself,
Yeah.
the torch will burn for quite some time. So
That's kind of awesome.
citronella.
Like if now I really want to set
I-
up like a medieval thing in my backyard and have giant torches.
I've got 5 of them on my property that I've found so far.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I don't
right
even know
now
what
is
they
the
look
time
like.
to be finding them.
Yeah.
Right now is the time. And as soon as you know, I feel like this is the way with like a lot of different herbs, but as soon as you know what you're looking for, you start finding it everywhere.
You see it everywhere. Yep.
Yeah, I could go into so many herbs like that. Burdock. Do you know what burdock is?
No.
Okay. Well, burdock, the root itself, okay, there's many uses for burdock, one of which as a replacement for flour. I do not believe it's a 1-to-1 ratio, but burdock in times of need can be used as a flour. It can be ground.
Okay.
But the root itself, if you pull it, cut it, chop it, dry it, and then grind it, grind it, it can be used as a replacement for coffee. What? I know. Her mind, if you could see her face right now, which soon
You'll be able to.
you will be able to.
You will be that blessed.
Could be as early as a couple weeks from now.
Could be.
You could be seeing our bright and shiny faces.
Yeah.
Then we really will. Ooh, we
Spoiler
could
alert.
totally go live.
Yeah. I feel like that could be dangerous. Not that we edit anything
Let
out,
us
though.
know if you want us to just be like live. We could totally do that. The way I'm going to set it up, we could be live.
Live and unfiltered.
And then obviously it would then save to a regular video after the live was done. But
But then people could interact with us while we were recording.
they could.
That would be so much fun.
All right, let us know in the comments, or if you know us personally, send us messages if you want us to actually go live
Yes.
and interact.
And give us some ideas of what times work.
Yes. What would be the
Because-
best time if we were going to go live?
Yeah.
That
We don't
would
want to
work.
pick a time that nobody's available.
No.
And then just think you guys don't like us.
Right.
And be sad forever.
And we also don't want you to think that, like, we think we're all you would have to do.
Wait, what? People don't base their schedule around us?
Well, there is a benefit to just hearing us because they can go about their merry way doing all of their, whatever responsibilities while they're listening.
They can pause and rewind.
We would be so distracting if they're watching us.
But you know what? They can pause it and rewind it.
They could.
Whenever we give like an especially good nugget of awesomeness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we're going to keep doing like herbs and natural remedies or the natural crunchy making stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to want to see it.
Yes. We could make some on air.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be fantastic.
Yes. Homeschool Mom Survival Guide Kitchen Tour.
Yeah.
Oh,
all things that blow up have to be made outside.
All things possible.
Yep.
So mullein plant, it's found outside. I know, you're all super surprised right now.
Mullein plant found outside.
Throughout North America, Canada, Mexico, United States, including Alaska, Hawaii. It grows at all elevations from sea level up to 10,000 feet. It prefers disturbed low-quality sites. So it sounds like it doesn't have too high of demands.
No.
It's pretty low. It likes your yard to be disturbed. Low quality. I think that fits me like a glove.
I feel like I know a lot of
Full
people
sun.
who could grow this.
It's intolerant of shade.
Intolerant. It's getting canceled
likes
now.
dry pastures, meadows, open forest areas. Common in disturbed areas such as road cuts, edges, railways, industrial areas.
Ooh, last episode I said you were going to be in people's ditches.
Apparently. I'm ditching it. So, seriously, with that being said, be careful where you're getting stuff. Okay?
Yes.
If you really want to use this stuff, buy the seeds. Start growing it yourself. You have to make sure you're getting it from a place that doesn't have, like, fertilizer, pesticide, runoff, ditches. You don't know where that water's coming from. I have a beautiful runoff over by my house, which is actually the natural spring runoff from our lake.
Nice.
It's fairly safe. However, I just saw in the 2 different townships that manage that road, they're talking about doing chemical spray to kill the wildlife along those roads.
To kill the wildlife?
Not wildlife. Well, it would be wildlife because plants are life. Right?
Okay, true.
The wild plant life.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody. Hold your horses. It's not what I was talking about.
I was like, dang, I know deer are a problem, but harsh. You get near the road, you die.
So, how to identify mullein? It starts out low to the ground, bigger shaped, not really heart shaped, but kind of almost heart shaped leaves. Okay. When you first see it, it's low to the ground. They're really soft, like felt.
I want to pet them.
You would. You absolutely would. In fact, when I started foraging it, I didn't realize how soft they were. But you also have to be careful because where it grows wild, you can also have some stinging nettle and some other plants that will prick you.
That are not soft.
And are not soft at all. They hurt.
Not pettable.
And some of that stuff that hurts can actually be poisonous. So you have to be really careful, know what you're getting into. I recommend if you're going to go attempt to forage, maybe muck boots, long pants, long sleeves, and gloves.
And most important, find yourself an Amy Lucas to go forage with you. Who knows what things look like.
So the stalk in first year, mullein forms a basal rosette 1 to 2 feet across. In the second year, the tall climb-like flower stalk bolts up 6 to 8 feet.
Nice.
Leaves are large and fuzzy. They grow up to 15 inches around, which is where the heart shape. Those will be down near the bottom, and they gradually get smaller as it comes up to the top.
Oh, so like a triangle.
They're about 5
Or a
inches
cone.
wide. Leaves are silvery green. They are oval and widest at the base. Become narrow as ending in a blunt and slight pointed tip. Leaves attach alternately with short stems at the base of the plant. They are stemless as they grow up the stalk. So you just kind of, almost like an ear of corn,
Okay.
right? You get the ear of corn, and when you pulling the leaves off, it's like breaking right at the bottom stalk portion, right?
Yeah.
That just like that.
Oh,
so when you
okay.
pull them off, you're just kind of peeling them down the stalk.
Okay.
Flowers, the upper 2 feet of the flower stalk is covered in densely packed yellow flowers that are 3/4 inch across. Only a few flowers are open at any one time. Flowers are 5 yellow petals and 5 orange tipped stems. The stalk with the seed capsules may persist through the winter. Each flower becomes a 2-chamber capsule which contains dozens of seeds. In fact, a single plant can produce 200 to 300 seeds, capsules with up to 600, 800. So you got the flowers, and then I'm showing Mrs. Jorgensen.
Ooh, those are pretty.
You see the pods?
I do.
Okay, those pods
Are full of seeds.
contain anywhere from 200 to 600 seeds.
So, question for you, and I don't know if you'll be able to answer it. If you said to start with the seeds, if you were seeing those in a ditch, could you steal the seed pods and plant those, not knowing if they had been sprayed or not, or would that affect it when it grew? Do you understand like what my question
Well,
is?
first off,
That was
I don't
all.
ever like to use the S word, steal. I
Oh,
like
did I say steal?
reallocation.
Reallocation.
Secondly, that's a really good question. I'm gonna say probably you could, however, well, I don't know. I guess it would depend on the chemicals
Okay.
that were being pumped through, right? I mean, if it's in an area and it's getting like, Roundup,
Yeah.
pumped into it, you could have some. What would it be called if the seeds will no longer produce? I don't know. You could try it. The other thing that I don't know, so I'm finding that when you are attempting to use some of the seeds for various herbs, some of them like to be fermented before they can actually be germinated. And the fermenting clears off, there's like a protective coating on it to speed up the production of the plant. I don't know. That's a really good question. I haven't gotten that far into it. I'm only just looking into producing it myself on the property because I use it so much.
Yeah.
You can you can dry the leaves. You can make a tincture
Okay.
with fresh or dry in vodka, rum, whatever. And you can go that route.
Okay.
Or you can dry them. You could do them in more like an olive oil or a carrier oil. It'll help with earaches. Hold on. Let's.
Oh, I have some in my bathroom for earaches. I knew it sounded familiar, but I could not figure out why mullein sounded
You have
familiar.
mullein in your bathroom?
I do, for earaches.
Is it just a straight like oil tincture? Or is it in something else or
It's
what?
an oil tincture. It was mullein, and I feel like it had one other herb in it. It was something that was suggested to me by one of the other crunchy moms at our homeschool co-op.
I think while I'm talking, Mrs. Jorgensen should get up and go get it, and so I can see what
I'll go find it.
we're looking at here. The flowers have medicinal properties too. They're just a little bit harder to obtain because the flowers on the stem do not like just bloom all at the same time. You'll get a handful that'll bloom one day and then they'll close up and then the next ones come. So the best time to get the flowers is first thing in the morning when they're still kind of wet from the dew. That's when they're going to be the most potent. It is used to treat respiratory and pulmonary issues, including asthma, bronchitis, congestion, tuberculosis, spastic coughs. It's used to treat gastrointestinal issues such as diarrhea. It's been used to treat inflammation and pain such as gout and migraines. On the skin, it has benefits. It's particularly helpful with wounds, burns, frostbite, infections, bruises. Along with other medicinal herbs, it's used to treat ear infections in children. She just brought me the goods. Let's see what we got here.
It is not straight mullein.
It is not
flower oil.
straight mullein.
It has other stuff.
However, it is calendula oil, garlic oil, mullein flower oil, olive oil, St. John's wort's oil, and tea tree oil. That's a really good combination. Have you used this?
We haven't because I bought it because Sebastian had an earache, and then by the time it came in, he didn't have one anymore. So I've had it for, I don't know, a month or so, and we haven't used it yet. But it also said that it was good for like helping clear out earwax.
Yeah, so what you could do if you were going to make this yourself is you would make a tincture in the vodka or the rum.
Okay.
And then in small doses, you would add that to the carrier oil. In this case, it's olive oil.
Yep.
And then you would put a cloth over the top so that it could air for several days.
Okay.
And that alcohol will evaporate, leaving only the good stuff in the oil.
Okay.
But that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
Homeopathic
this is all good
stuff.
information. I'm so pleased every time that I hear she's buying stuff like this. You know what? It's a choice. Let's see. Most interestingly, mullein has shown incredible antibacterial activity. A study of mullein extract showed inhibition in certain bacteria that includes KL, stop it, Mrs. Jorgensen. Klebsiella. Klebsiella?
Sounds good to me.
Pneumonia. Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus epidermis. And some sort of E. coli. I'm not going to try to pronounce that one. Similarly, mullein extract showed inhibition of certain types of tumors.
Nice.
The flowers can also be used to make a yellow dye.
Like in Minecraft.
Yes. I have no idea what you're talking about. You can collect mullein in Minecraft?
No, it's just a yellow flower. But if you want your bed to be a different color besides white, you collect flowers and it makes a dye, and then you dye the wool, and then you make the bed out of the colored wool.
Mullein extracts can be made in water. These are also available through health food stores and online. I use the leaf to make tea. I drink tea almost every morning. It is extremely soothing. Okay. In addition, I always add in ginger root and turmeric.
So when you make a tea, is it just like the dried leaves in your little tea ball thing?
Yeah, my clippy-do metal spoon thing.
Yeah, so you just put the dried leaves in there, soak it in water, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never tried to make tea other than with a tea bag.
Oh.
So.
Well, I got to get you one of the little metal spoon doohickey things. I have all kinds of herbs at the house. Yeah. I've got raspberry leaf.
Okay. Does it taste like raspberry?
No,
That's disappointing.
it does
It should.
not. But it's got antidiuretic properties.
I mean, healthy's good, I guess.
Soothing. Anyways. Tincture is made using the alcohol, but like I said, you can make that up in advance.
Okay.
And then in smaller doses, you make the oils. So the tinctures, as long as you keep them in a dark place,
Okay.
they just don't go bad.
Oh, nice.
The alcohol pretty much preserves it for life.
Okay.
And then you make up the smaller doses like this. If you could see the bottle of the ear oil that she has, I'm going to guess this is like this is 1 fluid ounce. I probably wouldn't make up more than a fluid ounce at a time.
Okay.
For that. And then Mullein tea. Parts of the plants used. Tea. I covered that already. You can, people are all like, oh, I don't have a dehydrator, I can't do this. Did you know, fun fact, 4 pieces of wood, little, whatever, 1 by 1 strips,
Okay.
right? Or half by 1, even better, with screen
Okay.
attached to both sides put together and set outside, and you got yourself a natural dehydrator in the sun.
Nice.
There really is not the necessity to have. I have a commercial dehydrator. My mama, who's no longer with us, it's a funny story. She made fun of me for the gift. Like every year she wanted to buy me like makeup or a pretty sweater or something coordinated outfit, Mary Kay Levin wise
Yes.
perfection.
Yes.
And anybody who's ever met me knows from a perfection standpoint, I am a hot mess.
Amy is fashion forward. People just, they haven't caught up with her yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to get on this train. But you do, with me, you get genuine and, I don't know, I think I'm pretty straightforward. You get what you get.
Yep.
You either like me
yes.
or you don't like me.
Yeah.
But anyways, long story short, one year she asked me, what do you want? Where were we at? We were at Cabela's. And what do you want for your birthday? Whatever. I think we were going through the clearance section, and I think it was on sale for like $400, which it was like $500 or $600 full price. So that was a really good deal.
Yeah.
But my mom, when it came to like birthdays and Christmas, like she was on the books. Like she knew you had a cap amount for each person that you were buying for, and no more was going to get spent than that. And so obviously this gift was a little bit more, but then I offered, well, I could come up with the money and I could pay the difference, whatever. Long story short, she bought it for me. But I think she bought it for me in the beginning almost as attempting to prove a lesson. I'm going to buy you this gift and prove to you that you are never going to use this gift and it is a waste of money. I got to tell you, I have
That's
used
fantastic.
that dehydrator so much
Yeah.
on a regular basis all year long.
You have more than gotten her money's worth.
I have more than gotten her money's worth out of that dehydrator. So I can dehydrate, I think it's got like 40 trays in it.
Wow.
It's
That's a lot.
A lot. And they're, what, like, I don't know, 2 foot by 2 foot trays, I think. So, I mean, they're quite,
Yeah.
and maybe
It's
they're
holding
even
a
like
lot of
18
stuff.
inches. They're big.
Yeah.
They're big trays. But I'm able to take this stuff that I'm finding and dehydrate it. And the only thing that I'm missing is Mylar bags, and I'm missing the vacuum sealing that Mrs. Jorgensen has.
I do.
She
I do.
does.
You could totally borrow it if you want.
Oh, I would love to borrow it. I would love to borrow it so that I could vacuum seal my flour and that kind of stuff so that the shelf life would be a lot longer than it typically is.
Yeah, we only use it periodically, so if you need it, let me know.
Yeah, I might just take you up on that. A friend of mine just bought freeze dryer, actually 2 of them. And she's probably going to be listening to our podcast and she knows who I'm talking about, but I am absolutely jealous because I've been on the fence on that. They're quite an investment.
Yeah.
But, man, there's so many uses for freeze drying and your shelf life is increased tenfold.
We love freeze-dried fruit,
Oh, yeah.
so I would buy it just for that.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That would limit or reduce my needed freezer space just for fruit.
Yeah. Yep.
Because when I am attempting to freeze, first I'm having to put it on flat trays and freeze it flat first so that you don't get the frost snow in the bag.
All the freezer burn flavor.
Then you add it to the freezer bags. Yeah, I mean, what I do, 2 flats. I did 2 flats of strawberries this year.
Okay.
And I probably could have easily done 2 more.
That's awesome.
So Mullein,
Yes.
it has brought a lot of benefits to our house so far. And now I am beside myself when I'm finding it, even on my own property. Like, you don't recognize it, and then all of a sudden when those flower stalk pops up, it's like, oh, there it is.
I see you.
Yes. And then you go out and you harvest it, and your children whine in the background because there are better things they could be doing than learning how to forage.
No, there's not.
No,
They
not
think
really.
there is.
Right. The
But
point
there's
is with the children, I just want them to know how to find this stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you don't know, when you can find it fresh and you can dry it yourself, you know how old it is.
True.
Versus, I buy big bags. I have bought big bags on Big Bad Amazon. I don't know the date.
Nope.
I don't know how old that dried leaf really is.
Yeah.
And I haven't done any research into how quickly it loses its medicinal value
Yes.
over time. Because whether it's dried or whatever, it does lose unless you preserve it in like a tincture. It does lose its value.
Everything has an expiration date.
Yeah. I don't care if you are slapping on a peel to that fruit and vegetable. You can keep it looking pretty,
Yeah.
but it's losing nutritional value from the moment that you pick it.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
So, that's what I have. That's what I've got. Do we want to continue into oregano, or do we want to do that for additional? What are we at? We're at like 30 minutes.
Yeah. I would say that's up to you. Do you think that you can fit in oregano, or would you like to have more time to do oregano?
Let's create another podcast. Let's
Okay.
do a podcast specifically on oregano.
Fantastic. Well, then we're going to wrap up this dive into mullein harvesting and identification and all the cool different uses for it.
Yeah, let me know in the
And-
comments if you guys have used it, your stories, your successes, if it's something that you want to look into.
We like failure stories too.
Oh, I love failure stories.
Yeah. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yes. Best way to learn is by someone else's failures.
Yeah.
Share those.
That's the cheapest way to learn.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Absolutely.
Way cheaper than your own failures.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, then we will see you guys again next week, and have a blessed week, and we love you.
Love you. Bye.